here today with Nate Golich, President of the Brighton Education Association, and also our man, again behind the camera, Kevin Denke. And thank you guys for doing this with me today. I'm really excited to be able to spend some time today talking with Nate about employee wellness. And so, Nate, I have some questions for you. I'm just going to run right down them and answer as you will. So, does the Brighton Education Association understand the value of a district employee wellness program?
I believe we do. I think from our perspective, there's two main values of the employee wellness program. The first is that we make employees healthier. Mm-hmm. Healthier employees are going to be less stressed. They're going to feel better about themselves, which is going to in turn mean they're going to be more comfortable in their jobs, which is just great for them personally. And yeah. I have a vested interest in making sure that the employees at 27J and my members feel good about themselves. Mm-hmm. I think there's a second reason that we're really supportive of this process, and that's healthier employees are less expensive employees when it comes to insurance policies. Yeah. As employees become healthier, they end up incurring less healthcare costs, and with the growing cost of healthcare, despite recent reforms, it's valuable to us to attempt to keep the healthcare costs low in a way that doesn't put an undue burden on our members. Members have the ability to choice into becoming healthier, which is excellent, and as they do, and many of them are, right, they end up being less cost, which gives us the ability to have lower insurance premiums, which gives us the ability to offer better insurance plans and have more money in the budget to deal with in other areas.
Right. All right. Fantastic. Okay. Do you feel that over the last couple of years that the district has raised awareness among employees regarding, the importance of lifestyle behaviors and promoting good health and providing employees with information and resources?
I think the district has started that process. I think they certainly have a large number of resources available, more so than we've had in the past. Yeah. I think there's probably additional steps we can take to bring that communication to the next level to make it more accessible to the employees on a regular basis. It's, the running joke, who reads a tech broadcast? We're inundated with emails and communication, so we need to make sure we get that out to folks in a way that is receptive to them. And the general rule of communication is anytime you want anyone to hear something, you want to tell them it 8 times. Right. And I don't think we're quite at that threshold yet. But I'm excited about the fact that there are more opportunities and resources to engage in healthy activities and to find resources to help make healthier choices.
Right. Yeah, definitely. So with that, obviously I think you've seen more engagement towards a wellness culture overall in the last couple of years.
Absolutely. So we've brought the I don't remember what they're called now, the Fitbit.
The Sonic Boom pedometers.
Thank you. Sonic Boom pedometers out, and those were a great success. Mm-hmm. We've provided some opportunities for healthy classes through Kaiser that I know members have taken advantage of. Yes. I believe the district has a couple of Zumba and yoga classes going on right now, right? Is that right?
Yep.
And there's a separate wellness communication that goes out, which is really exciting to see, as well as wellness notes in the communicator for District 27J. So we're certainly making folks more aware of health.
Right. Fantastic. So speaking of health overall, your personal story is really quite compelling. It is. And with your success, you must have some information to share. If you would care to share pieces or parts of the whole thing in your journey, that would be really, I think, motivational for people that could use that.
Fair enough. I don't think it is particular. I don't think there's anything particularly great secret to the story. So, I had been overweight for a very long time, and I talked with doctors at Kaiser, and they made some recommendations. I didn't do any of them. There weren't any changes in my life. I finally made the decision to engage in one of Kaiser's programs, which is called OptiFast, which is a meal replacement program that is connected, which is fine. Meal replacement's good, and I was certainly eating better while in the program, but I think the bigger piece there was there's a weekly counseling class, and I would never argue that every single class was valuable to me, but the overall concept of having a group of people to talk to,
Uh-huh.
all the little tricks of that we know as educators, increasing accountability, having a group of people that we are reporting to and connected to on an emotional as well as intellectual level, providing simple steps. So the goal was, I was talking about this the other day, and so I was like, well, was the first goal to lose 10 pounds? Like, no, the first goal was to not eat cake.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
or was to eat the bar and not whatever I was eating before. So it's
Yeah.
that engagement in simple steps. And then the other piece of it is, it's about the choices we make. And so I never made the choice to find time for myself to exercise. And now I do.
Right.
So, I make a point of finding time at least 5 to 6 times a week to exercise, that 30 to 40 minute aerobic minimum.
Right.
I like to get in more.
Right.
But I think the OptiFest program with the counseling aspect of that was very useful. And then I'm a big fan now of the Lose It app, if I can use brand names.
Yeah.
There's there's a bunch of them out there. It's
Yeah.
the one I happen to use. It's a free app. It's on my smartphone. I scan barcodes of things when I eat them, and just that. For me, the value of keeping myself honest. It's not necessarily about making. I don't always make the best food choices, but whatever I eat, I put in the app.
Right.
So.
Right.
And then the thing that I sort of been guided by is, having gotten down to a healthy weight, this idea of making choices. So, right, ideally you make the best health choice at all times. So I have the, carrot and lettuce salad with no dressing, and that's not going to happen because I like fried things.
Right.
So this idea of the scale of choices, do we make the healthiest choice? No, but we also don't make the least healthy choice. I don't
Exactly.
get the double cheeseburger with onion rings that's been deep fried after you cook it.
Right.
And get a cheeseburger with a salad. Actually, I do that quite often. So
Yeah.
the scale of choices, and it's funny. People have talked about, it's such a huge change to make. Because I have days where I don't eat well, and I'm relatively convinced those days are lower caloric intake than what would have been a normal caloric intake day. Like, I can get 4,000 or 5,000 calories into my body in a day, but I really kind of have to work at it.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
it's a very conscious choice to eat that much. Whereas before, I think I was eating 7,000 to 10,000 calories without thinking about it. So.
Right. Absolutely. And I think that's a lot of a lot of these successes really not trying to be perfect in the whole endeavor of it, because that's not going to happen. And the percentage of the times that you do eat right is higher than the times that you don't. So it really comes down to that. I know you said in the past that your wife has been a big support system for you. And
So my wife started to make some healthier choices about her life before I did, and it's just to watch her, lose a pound every other week just by eating a little bit better really sort of inspired me to take that step as well. And
right.
I qualified for the Kaiser program. I have an HSA account,
Right.
so I didn't really think of it as spending my money. There's this
Yes. Yeah.
HSA account. I've got this money in the bank, so
Right.
might as well use it.
Yeah.
So it was, to me, a very cheap program. I was using the district's money to make myself healthier.
Right. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I know some of the exercise, if you don't have time to leave here and absolutely, get it in, you're doing it here, right?
Yeah. So this particular job has a lot of strange hours, and so last night's an excellent example. There was a school board meeting at 7 o'clock. I had a meeting with the director of HR at 4 o'clock. I found myself with about an hour and a half of time in between, and I had my gym bag in my car and
Yep.
switched into my, I hate to tell this secret because now everyone's going to come close and smell. I switched into my gym clothes and I jogged inside the building here around 5:30 or so. There's no one around. I'm not really getting in anyone's way. And so I get my 45 minutes exercise in that way. And
Right.
I'd feel better. I'd come back, dry off, slap on some deodorant, and go to the school board meeting.
Right.
So.
Exactly. Oh, that's awesome, because obviously it comes down to people just saying, no, I don't have time, and filling up that extra time that they could be taking to do what you did with just some more work and some more work and some more work. So.
Well, there's also days where I get up a little bit early, and we happen to have a elliptical machine in the basement, so I'll use that for 45 minutes.
Right.
So,
Right.
You got, it's about carving out the time. My wife does my wife focuses on getting in 3 to 5 days of exercise a week.
Right.
The more you're successful with that, the more, I suppose the line would be the more habit forming it becomes. And honestly, for me, the more addicting it becomes. Exercise is an amazing stress relief. I sleep so much better.
Yeah.
This is a high stress job.
Right.
And that's an amazing release for me. And it's a much healthier release than, eating 3 hamburgers or
right.
some of the other choices we can make that I won't mention on film.
Well, and I think that, I like how you bring that up, the stress portion of it, because with a lot of the fitness classes that we're rolling out with Kaiser, and there's a lot of them, you mentioned the Zumba and the yoga, as well as boot camp and CrossFit coming up, and it's any number of things across the board, but and it's not even really so much that fitness piece as it is, oh my gosh, just relieve some stress. Because stress is just, it's pretty high, and higher at certain times of the year than others.
Like say nowish.
Yes, exactly. So, but yeah, that's a big piece that we're trying to really communicate as well, is it's not all fitness, it's also that stress management, as well as, the nutrition piece. So, but you mentioned something else that's important too, and that is, the support from you and your wife. When we spoke with Dr. Fiddler, it was also the same thing. That strong support system, and that really goes a long way. So, do you have anything else you'd like to share with us?
No, I'm excited for the work you guys are doing. For no other reason, I think there's a valuable bottom line in the idea that we can all be healthier, and we can find additional resources to make those choices. And I'm all for lowering our insurance costs, if nothing else. But
right.
I also appreciate other businesses have rolled this out in ways that have become controversial around sort of dictating health norms. You see that in some other countries. I'm very appreciative of the fact that you guys have very, very consciously rolled this out as choice. It's so you guys had a health program for a good year and a half, under which I was wildly unhealthy, and no one was banging down my door and dragging me to yoga classes.
Right.
When I made the choice to become healthier, there were resources available to me for that, which I appreciated. So.
Right. Well, thanks for adding that.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And thanks for the time.
Of course.
I definitely do appreciate that. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no, it's great. Good to see you guys.